structure of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofadi 081 063 41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the world. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live.
Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to ATN Society Watch. This is a program where we spotlight societal issues, give them a collective attention, and work towards solutions that make society better for everyone. Today in the headlines: backlash. House of Assembly member suspended over domestic violence. Defilement. Niger State's child abuse cases trigger fresh concerns. Controversy. Pastor Chris Okafor withdraws his apology to Chris Ogala and others. Insecurity. Family plans funeral prayer for missing abducted NYSC member. We're open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product service promotion and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, Avo TV channel 205, Limex TV platform, Avastec platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, Iroko TV. Connect with us on ATN socials, subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. We go on a short break, and when we return, I will introduce my guest for today, and we will delve right onto the report. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the
welcome back from that very short break, and thanks for staying with us. Joining me on Society Watch today is Mr. Graham Okilo Anocha, a social activist and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the show, Mr. Graham.
All right, thank you. Thank you. It's really a great honor and a great privilege to be here with us today.
All right, you're most welcome. On to the report now. A member of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Ovat Dixon Abo, has been suspended over allegations of domestic violence involving his wife. Abo, who represents the Obubra One State constituency, was suspended after the matter was raised during plenary following a petition and growing public concern over an alleged incident in which he was accused of physically assaulting his spouse. During deliberations, lawmakers condemned all forms of domestic violence, stressing that public office holders must uphold high moral and ethical standards. The suspension followed calls from civil society groups and members of the public demanding disciplinary action. Mr. Graham, very straight to the point, in a situation such as this, where our lawmakers are the ones found guilty of failing to uphold the law, our lawmakers are now the ones who has disobeyed the laws. What is the end product of this? When the people who make the law are now the ones found guilty of the law. What do you make of this report entirely?
All right. It's quite unfortunate that an honorable member of the House of Assembly of Cross River State is found wanting in a situation like this. Is entirely wrong for an honorable member to indulge in such an act, and it should be highly condemned. As a matter of fact, being an honorable member, it's a prestigious position. You stand as an epitome for others to watch. You stand as an epitome for others to lend. You are a lawmaker. You are a fashionist of the society. And matters like this should not arise. Matters like this should not arise from an honorable member. Matters like this should not arise. And when it has to do with your spouse, we have always been at the point of condemning those that end up being domestic to their spouse. You know, it's totally wrong. It's not something that one should talk about, and it should not be found among a honorable member. The question is, before one should be called an honorable, it means you have distinguished yourself. You have honorably distinguished yourself. There are some certain traits that should be found. There are some certain traits that should be found with honorable members. You know, as a matter of fact, when one is found in such an act, I must commend the Cross River State House of Assembly on a swift action to rip him off of his duty, because it is an eyesore. It's an eyesore it is really dimping the house entirely. Such people should not be found within such highly magnified institution. So it's something that should be condemned, and I must say, not just condemned. After proper investigation, it should be properly brought to book. I mean, you shouldn't lay hands on your spouse. There should be no reason why one should lay hands on his or her own spouse. And if there will be need, I think there should be proper, that's where dialogue comes in, tolerance comes in. There should not be any need for one to lay hands on his or her own spouse, talk more of an honorable member of the house. So it's something of greater concern, and that is, it stands as a watchdog that tomorrow we should carefully look into those that will send to represent us, because these are people that are representing our common goals. And when such stories begins to come in, it's really a red flag, and it should be condemned entirely.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Graham. Taking this away from the people involved, let's look at it generally. What is your general take on domestic violence? You already condemned it, but then it keeps happening. The issue of domestic violence, husband attacking wife, wife attacking husband, it is like a menace that has come to stay. I know you are a married person, so what advice will you give out to the public out there to help curb the issue of domestic violence? As a husband, as a wife, how do we avoid minor conflicts from escalating to abuses at homes between spouses?
All right. One thing we need to look into this is an abuse is an abuse. Whether verbal abuse, whether domestic abuse, physical abuse, where it has to involve both spouse engaging on a fight. An abuse is an abuse, and I that is where the issue of tolerance comes in. The issue of tolerance comes in. Both spouses should learn to tolerate, no matter what. There should be a point of tolerance, knowing that both are individuals, different cultural background, different upbringing, different ideology. So, one thing first is to learn to tolerate. I do tell myself, the moment you bear into yourself a high level of tolerance, and you begin to see the other spouse as, okay, I think I should just let go. Ability to let go at every point in time. Ability to let go at every point, no matter what. No matter what. Ability to say no. Ability to understand. Ability to put yourself into the shoe of your spouse. And ability to communicate effectively. Understanding the level of temperament of your spouse and communicate effectively. Communication is a key to every relationship, to every marriage. And when you communicate with love, you communicate with understanding, and you put yourself in the shoe of your spouse. That, okay, if I do this, there's something biblically, there's a biblical statement that says that a man and a woman will live, and they will cleave and they will become one. So ability to cleave and become one shows that you are going to tolerate, you're going to understand, and you're going to love. I think most of the times where we begin to see a level of aggression in marriages, it could be an accumulation of aggression. It could be an accumulation of untreated You see, when we begin to communicate effectively, when you see a wrong, you say, you communicate to your spouse and say, okay, I don't think I like this. I don't think this should be done this way. I think we should do it this way. And you as a spouse, you begin to notice those things that your spouse do not like. You avoid. Because marriage takes a greater level of understanding. Marriage takes a greater level of tolerance. Marriage takes a greater level of self-denial. It takes a collection of two individuals to consciously deny themselves from certain things, just to make sure that there's a core level of peace in the house.
All right.
It's not easy.
All right.
But it's achievable.
You just spoke like a married person, like the married person that you are. Thank you for that perspective. Meanwhile, a series of child sexual abuse cases in Niger State has raised serious concerns about gaps in child protection and the urgent need for stronger interventions. Investigations reveal that children as young as 1 year old have been victims of sexual violence, with some requiring surgery and long-term medical care. In one case, a 1-year-old girl in Kotangora was reportedly abused by multiple perpetrators, leaving her with severe internal injuries. Authorities say several suspects have been arrested in recent months for the rape and assault of girls aged between 3 and 13 years in the area, including Mina, Kotangora, and Mokwa. Police spokesperson Wasiu Abiodun confirmed that suspects have been charged to court, while the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Child Rights Agency say they are intensifying efforts to ensure proper investigations, medical care, and legal follow-up of the victims. However, experts and civil society groups warn that weak awareness, social stigma, and delays in prosecution continue to hinder justice. Data from advocacy groups shows that although more than 1,000 cases of sexual abuse, that is gender-based, were recorded in the state between 2023 and 2024, only a small number resulted in convictions, heightening the need for stronger laws, coordinated action, and sustained community vigilance to protect children. What do you make of this report, Mr. Graham? We are here talking about sexual abuse of the minors. And then in the report, we are told that a 1-year-old child was sexually abused by different men, like multiple perpetrators. This is terrible. What do you make of it?
It's quite very sad that in our generation today, we are still talking about juvenile rape. We are still talking about child abuse. We are still talking about underage sexual harassment. And we are still talking about defilement of underage in our society. It's quite unfortunate. You know, oftentimes when I get reports of defilement of underage, it keeps me thinking, is it as a result of mental disorder? Is it as a result of inability to approach rightful facilities for one to take care of his or her sexual needs? Or of some fantasy? Because it's something that we should not talk about. It's really an eyesore. It's really an eyesore in our society today. And I am of the opinion that those perpetrators of these evil acts should not go unpunished. Because, as a matter of fact, these are little ones that we should be protecting. These are little ones that should be under our guidance and protection. And today they are being exposed. Today they are now an instrument of rapes. Think about the level of trauma. Think about the abuses that have been meted on these children. I mean, a proper instrument should be put in place by the state government to make sure that these perpetrators do not go unpunished. A capital offense of death penalty should follow. Those persons that are into these acts should not go unpunished. We should start defending and protecting our juveniles, because these are our future. So I believe that those persons that are perpetrators to this act should be properly brought to book, and none of them should go scot-free.
All right.
Because it's an eyesore.
All right. Meanwhile, 4 police officers have been dismissed from the Nigeria Police Force over their alleged involvement in the killing of 7 traders in the Owode Onirin area of Lagos State. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Olohundare Jimo, confirmed the development while speaking with journalists at the Ikeja Police Officers' Mess. According to the police chief, the dismissed officers were allegedly brought into Lagos from Nasarawa State by a prime suspect identified as Ariori and were linked to the unlawful killings. He added that investigations into the incident are almost complete, with key evidence such as ballistic and autopsy reports expected to support the prosecution. Jimo assured the public that the case has not been swept under the carpet, stressing that all suspects will face justice. The police also urged residents and traders to remain vigilant and continue cooperating with law enforcement authorities as efforts continue to ensure accountability and public safety. What do you make of this report, Mr. Graham?
It's quite unfortunate that those persons that are meant to protect life and properties, maintain peace and order in society, are now instruments of destruction. They are now instruments of causing mayhem in society. And that is why I have always been of the opinion that our police system should be properly overhauled. There should be a complete overhaul in the police system in Nigeria. Because with what we are seeing today in our Nigeria police force, it's an eyesore. I stand to be corrected. Proper orientation, proper checkmating should be placed into those persons that should be admitted or should be employed into the Nigeria police force. As a matter of fact, you can see the loss of personalities, 7 traders losing their life as a result of complete negligence. Will I call it negligence, or an intentional act of 4 policemen? You know, the disciplinary committee should, as a matter of fact, swing into action. Today, in our Nigerian police force, it is man no man. Proper training and orientation should be placed regularly to make sure that our men, our mission, our uniform men should be properly oriented. Because today, what we see today in our society among the Nigerian police force is nothing to write home about. A lot of persons have taken it upon themselves as a personal way of raising funds for themselves. So, those persons that are involved in this precious killings of our citizens will not go unpunished. And as a matter of fact, to further make sure that justice is served, to further make sure that this do not take place again, for future recruitment, there should be a proper orientation and a continual checkmate among our Nigerian police force to make sure that the code of conduct is not breached. My condolences to the family that lost their loved ones. Nigeria don't get about this in a century like this. When you go to a vast country, the police is the friend of the common man. The police is the protector of lives and properties. But today, we are seeing the police as the machinery of destruction. I'm sorry to say this. So please, a proper orientation should be placed in our uniform men.
Okay.
Those persons that are in the Nigerian police force and other forces should understand the reason why they are there. They should understand that they are not there for their personal pockets. If you investigate properly into this matter, you will know that this will not, it will not be far from money. It will not be far from extortion. It will not be far from extortion. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. It will not be far from dragging of peanuts. As a matter of fact, our Nigerian police force has gone into the news, into the public space for bad news always. Wow. I think a state of emergency by the president of Nigeria should be placed. Our uniformed men should be properly oriented. There should be a proper test, both mental tests, drug tests, psychological tests, should be placed in our Nigerian uniformed men. I mean, today, once one wears that uniform, they feel they are above the law. And they take us into their hands. From the head to the toe, there should be a proper overhaul. I feel so bad. I feel so bad hearing this. What happens to the bereaved family? What happens to those families that is in pain? Justice should be brought to book, so it will serve as a deterrent to others.
Okay.
Because oftentimes when things are done, it is swept into the carpet, and the rest is a normal thing. It's a normal thing. An open trial should be done so that others in the system would think they will take cognizance, they will take correction. The reason why you're a policeman is not for your own personal interest. You have decided to serve the nation and not to kill those you are serving. Imagine this going into the populace. It will raise fear. The populace will begin to live in fear. Because those that are supposed to defend them is not an instrument to their destruction. An eyesore. It's an eyesore. No, it's an eyesore. The NPA should rise up. The NPA should live up to standard. The Nigerian police force should live up to standard. So that we will checkmate this issue.
All right.
And justice should be brought.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Graham. You said a whole lot that makes sense. We'll go on a short break at this point, and when we return, we will continue with the rest of the reports. Do not go away. Welcome back from that very short break, and thanks for staying with us. The abductors made additional demands, including motorcycles, before eventually cutting off all communication. In a statement circulating online, the family explained that they had decided not to meet any further demands from the kidnappers following the silence that followed the initial ransom payment, with no information about his whereabouts or condition. The family said preparations are underway to conduct a janaza prayer in absentia, in line with Islamic tradition. The special funeral prayer, known as Janaza Gaibi, is scheduled to be held on Friday, March 6th, as the family seeks spiritual closure amid the uncertainty surrounding the abducted corps member. Despite the painful circumstances, the family expressed gratitude to individuals who supported them during the ordeal through prayers, donations, and words of encouragement. They added that they remain hopeful that if Abba is still alive, he will be granted strength and freedom, while also praying that if he has died, Allah forgives his shortcomings and grants him Jannah Firdaus. Mr. Graham, we have a case where a corps member is being abducted by the terrorists, and then the family was asked to pay a ransom of 10 million naira. And then after the payment, the son, the young man in question, has still not been released. Rather, the terrorist group keep making more demands, including a motorcycle, and then they've cut communication between the boy and the family. And then a lot of questions comes up to mind when we see this story. I mean, one is what really is the credibility of these terrorist groups? Why do these people behave in such a wicked way that even after demanding ransom and getting it, they still do not set free their victims? And then another question: a corps member is supposed to be the government's property. A young man who was deployed to serve Nigeria is being kidnapped, is being abducted, and we have the family alone running around. Is it supposed to be like that? What do you make of this report?
Honestly, I'm of a great silence over here. I could remember vividly when we served our great nation. You know, even if there are some insecurity issues, it's not as what we're experiencing today in Nigeria. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that those that have decided to serve their country is now passing through this scheme. Mind you, this is just only but a few that have been announced, but that is on record. As a matter of fact, every month we have reports of abductions of corps members across the Federation. And it's now a matter of concern. It's now a matter of emergency. Should we now say, you know, I was of an opinion a certain time that every corps member should serve in their states, or those states that are security concerned, or they are in security red lights. Corps members should not be sent in those states. I mean, beyond serving Nigeria, these are individuals that belong to family. Think about the trauma. Think about the state of the family. Because you want to serve the country, you end up losing your life. So it's really of a great concern. Our leaders should stand up to their games. Our security outfit should stand up to their games. See this young, promising young individual losing his life in a gracious manner like this. Honestly, it's so appealing. I lack words to place in this kind of situation. Despite the ransom that they are paid to the tune of 10 million, and they still decided to hold him to hostage without release. The level of insecurity in Nigeria today is now raising a concern. It's now in a state of concern, to the point that the international community, the likes of the United States of America, is now coming to an aid. If we continue like this, we will begin to advocate that all members should serve in their states to avoid further escalation of this matter. The situation here, a four member will be from the south or from the southeast down to the north, and at the end of the day, they are intercepted by bandits on their way to their primary PPA, or on their way to the orientation camps. And I read something funny in one of the handbooks of the NYSC that when you're on transit, make sure you have some money for ransom. It's something that should raise an attention in our society today. I feel for the family, honestly. I feel for the family. Because the clause has states that if you don't serve, you will not work. You will not aim some certain governmental roles because you have not served. And today, our young minds have brought out themselves to serve their nation, and the nation they are serving is unable to protect them. What is the hope of the young ones that are coming in? What is the hope of the young corps members? What is the hope of the aspiring corps members? If the ones out there are not safe, this is a discouragement, honestly. It's a discouragement. And I am calling upon all our leaders, I'm calling upon all necessary security actors to swing into action, to make sure that we don't have a reoccurrence of this again. I feel so bad. I feel so bad.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Graham Okilo. We really hope that the families in question are able to gather strength to go through this phase of their life. It is really pathetic. It is a sad one. But then this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atlantic Society Watch. We're open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product, service promotions and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, Avo TV channel 205, Limex TV platform, Ifastet platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, Iroko TV. Connect with us on ATN socials, subscribe, like and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. and on X at Atlantic TV Net. Remember and don't forget that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ofina Anuja.
And the board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 anniversary celebration lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enabele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelists,